first middle school in the district to incorporate the college planning idea into the curriculum. Talk to me a little bit about how it was introduced in your advisory and how your experience with it in the advisory.
It was introduced to us with the books. So we were each given a book, so we had a book for everyone. And we had already talked about college learning or college planning and the experience, but the books really taught us more about, educated us more about college planning, other than what the teachers teach us.
In previous years, like in 7th grade, it was really focused for colleges and what you wanted to be when you grew up, but it was only briefly covered until we got the workbooks that we would actually be able to go more in depth in what we should do and what we can do.
The way it was introduced for me was with the presentation that you gave us, and then when we got the workbooks, everything started falling into place about what I wanted to do in the future, and like how it really opened my mind to different, like why college was important and why was it important to pursue a career in something that I wanted to do. And my experience was really great with it, and I really appreciate that you gave us the books and everything because it really helped us.
The way it was introduced to me was like through the book, and like when you came to visit and like you talked about like are you like ready enough for college? Are you working towards it? That was very helpful because I didn't really think about like college planning like that serious. Like I only thought about like what college am I going to, like the scholarships and stuff. But like the book went into like, are you thinking about the cost? Do you know about financial aid? And like, do you know what type of degrees and like what type of jobs or majors you could get in college? So it was helpful.
So you received the book in advisory?
Yes.
Did you leave the book at advisory, or were you able to take it home?
We were able to
Take it home.
And so you kept your book, and you actually worked through it throughout the year.
Yes.
When the activities were introduced in advisory, and you had your book to work from, talk a little bit about how that dynamic. How did that go?
Well, when we worked on our book, we read it as a class, and then we broke off and we independently worked on it. We read through it, we worked through the activities, and then we all came together and talked about it with the class. And some things that we learned off of each other and the teacher, we learned some people were more knowledgeable about the college planning experience because they went through things, or their parents are more knowledgeable than other parents. So that was.
So starting when we did an activity, we would always start with as a class discussion or with a video or anything of that sort. And then later on, we would work independently. And then if we ever needed to, we would take it home and work on it there. And then when we come back, we would always post it on Classroom and to see what other students we'd be able to get. And we would sometimes break off into conversations of how interesting each answer was.
There was a lot of interaction with the book, and like I think that helped us better as a class of an understanding of what we're supposed to do with our college and stuff like that, on how to plan it. And like we did start off with like a few videos, and like we all talked about it. The teacher helped us through it. She like put in some projects in there too that weren't in the book, and that helped us a little bit more of like of a deeper understanding of what college was meant for and everything. So that was pretty good.
We're going to talk a little bit about some of the additional projects that you did.
Some of the additional projects that we did were like poems. Like sometimes we create like posters or like pennants of like new universities that have been discovered or colleges, because most people only know like like the popular ones, but then they don't realize like there's a lot more options out there for you to look at. And we also wrote like poems about like our personalities and like how we could like put in like our resume for college, and like what makes us like extraordinary, because most people always think that being average is like good, but like you want to be like extraordinary, so like people can look at you and be like, oh, that's the girl that we want.
The experiences with the activities in terms of the additional things that you did, poems or poster boards or anything, which one resonated the most with you of everything that you did?
with all the projects in the book combined, I think that the most useful thing was when we did the presentations. She would say, do this presentation, but we were able to look at different colleges and different majors at the colleges that we desired to go to, and then we looked at colleges that were designed specifically for the career we wanted to go in. And I learned a lot from that because like during middle school, I know I wanted to be a doctor, but I was unsure of what I specifically wanted to do. And with the book, I was able to identify some colleges that were good in medicine, and then I looked in further different careers and aspirations that I wanted to. So that was really helpful.
For me, the projects that impacted me the most were the posters, because with that you were then forced to actually research more into it and see which ones you could relate to and which ones you needed to have on there. And so I got to learn a lot more than what if I didn't do a poster.
Mine would have been the presentations, because we had a deeper understanding of everyone's with new ideas of different careers that oh, maybe I want to try something in that category and stuff. So it was pretty it was knowledgeable in ways.
So then, when you reflect back on what you did throughout the year in advisory, tell me a little bit about how it prepared you for the work that we've been doing this week in the boot camp.
Well, with the opportunity that we had with the books, I felt like we came in with knowledge already instilled in us that we learned from the books. What's different from this boot camp from the books is that we learned something else, because the books were really planned out, and I think each one of us learned something different from this boot camp, because we are doing different. We do the same thing, but we aspire to be something different. Because with the books, we would all categorize ourselves into oh, we want to be in medicine, so we should talk about this. But with the boot camp, we really get to specify what we want to do, what we aspire to be.
I agree with Ronald. When walking into this boot camp with the books, it helped me have a brief knowledge of what was going to happen. But walking into the boot camp, I knew what I wanted to be, but then seeing that there were many more options, it helped me a bit more.
We get to explore our differences a little bit more here, because there's different people, and it's not just stuck to one category, and they all teach us a little bit more about what they want to do, and it helps us with what we want to do in our career aspirations and stuff. So it was pretty good.
I like the online thing better, because you can work at your own pace, and you don't have to work with others, because even though the work is independently, some teachers don't like it if you go ahead of them or you're behind.
Yeah.
And I also like the online one, because how people always say that you have to do this certain major to become this job. I realized you don't really have to take science to become a doctor. You could go through another major. And I also discovered that pre-med was not a major, which was actually amazing. So
the online engagement, you like being able to move at your own pace.
Yes.
You've enjoyed that. Then contrast the first day of having headphones on, pretty much working at your own pace, but almost in isolation. And then today, where I'm really pushing you to talk and to collaborate. Contrast the 2 days in your own experience.
Well, in JSTEM, although we work collaboratively, we like to be independent. And the first day we were so used to working by ourselves. But today I really like that, because in the real world we work with different people. We work with so many people, and so I like how we can have discussions with people that we've never met before, people that we've never seen before. So.
On the first day of boot camp, I think we were in our own little bubbles, and I wouldn't have thought that maybe people here might have had the same aspirations that I might have had. And since today we were able to talk with each other, I've been able to get to know some kids more, and I realized that I'm not the only one that wants to go in the medical field or anything like that.
I'm glad that we were given more freedom on the second day rather than the first day, because the first day we were all kind of awkward with each other, and we didn't know what we were doing. Like we were all like anxious about it, and the second day we were more comfortable with each other, and like I like how we all get to like have group discussions because that really like makes you want to like talk and like say what you want to do. And that's pretty good.
I'm not really a big fan of talking while walking because I get distracted easily. So like I like the first day because I like to get like all the work done, then like play type of person. I don't really like having conversations while I walk because some conversations go like off topic sometimes. And like I'm like, how did this even started? And like sometimes I'm unable to complete my walk. So I think I like the first day better. But like, you know, a little conversation here and there is like good.
So, if I'm understanding correctly, it appears that we are being successful at reaching a number of different types of personalities and learning styles. But if I'm understanding you, it's certainly not perfect.
Yeah.
So reflecting back on what you did throughout the year in advisory, in your mind, what worked the best?
Well, what worked the best was having like a teacher that had been to college, because all of our teachers have been to college and they have experience. Then they were able to give us personal experience, personal advice, but they were able to tie it with the book because our teacher, she knew a lot about financial aid because she had financial aid in college, and so we learned a lot about how all these programs, all these websites that help students with student loans, help students with financial aid. So that was really helpful.
Being the first child in my family to go to college, I wasn't able to have like the personal experience where I could ask my parents, how should I apply for financial aid or anything like that. And by being in school and having a workbook, I was able to go around and ask more students or reach out to different colleges and ask, what am I supposed to do? Because if I didn't have that, then I would have never thought of reaching out.
I'm glad I was able to get a more insight of what college is really about because I was able to talk to the different teachers about like their personal experiences with it and like how they got through it and like what was toughest with them, what was easiest, and like just like how they like went through it.
In the book, I was able to discover that like you don't only get scholarships through like academic or like sports. Like there's music, there's like the weird scholarships, and then there's like one for like each race. So like you could take advantage of it, and like you don't really have to be smart, like you know, to like get in college, because nobody's perfect.
So then, the next question would be, what one thing would you say that you experienced that could have been done a lot better or you would have changed?
Something that could have been better or something that I've changed is I really, even though teachers did know some stuff, I wish that the teachers were more educated about the books, what the books were talking about, college planning, because the teachers did know stuff, but they weren't telling us like specific things. Like at this boot camp, we were taught like so many different things that I've like never heard of before. I never even thought of considering. So that's one thing that I wish was better. The teachers were more knowledgeable of the things that like college planning and stuff like that. That's a big thing.
I think in the workbook, I would hope that they would add more like bigger projects because our teacher would make the projects for us and we wouldn't really get to understand them. But I got the concept of what she was trying to do, but she didn't really push it through correctly. And so if there were more projects that were more planned out correctly in the workbook, then it would have helped a lot more.
I think I would have liked that the teacher, if it was taught differently of how it was taught in our class, because I didn't like how we all went our own independent ways because like it was supposed to be like more of like a group thing. Like why couldn't we talk with our tables about it, and rather than just like watching a video, talking about it a little bit, reading over an overview, and then just like going into our own bubbles and like we were kind of isolated, and I didn't really like that.
I would have liked if there was like a lot more color, like like inside of the book. Like I'm not kidding. Like, it should be like an activity where like you get to draw something, like, you know, like a puzzle. That would be nice.
Okay, so in the boot camp, you have been introduced to the different modules in a variety of ways. I've talked, you've had on your headphones, you've had tabletop discussions, but everything has revolved around the activities that are in the classroom, in the online classroom. Do you believe that that environment, if all the students next year at your school had computers and they were able to work through the modules, that that would be helpful for your teachers and helpful for the classroom discussions?
Yes.
Really helpful.
Would you like to elaborate why it would be helpful?
Well, it would be helpful if we had the online classrooms because at JSTEM Academy we were so used to having an online classroom like Google Classroom. And so if we had, because we were pretty much a technology-based school, so the teachers I think would have a better, like, easier time understanding what to do because it like the class, the overviews lay out what you're doing in that, you know, and so the teachers won't be as confused and the students won't be as confused because they know what they're doing and they know what they're talking about, they know what the videos are talking about. So.
I think I like the online portion because, like you said before, that you were able to see our progress. When we were in our classes, you could tell that some kids who didn't really want to do it kind of just messed around for most of the time. And so by having your progress, it would help a lot since you can see how far we're doing and like if we're actually getting it. And since with our journals, or not journals, our workbooks, we just wrote them and then we talked about it and closed them and they were just done with. And so by being able to see our progress, I think people would be more encouraged to do it so that they don't get in trouble.
I have to agree with that on with Juliana.
I would say like with the computer, it's way more easier to grade because some people don't like to work. I'm like, they need a grade. Like some people that work need to be rewarded, you know, like with a good grade. And like the people who don't work need like, you know, the grade they deserve. And it will make it easy on like teachers because some teachers hate grading. And like them just seeing your progress, I said, did you make progress? Yes. Check mark. No, it's mine.
So then if we were planning, so if I'm understanding you correctly, if we were planning the engagement next year, we would have the online class environment. Each activity would have a graded quiz that was associated with the activity.
Yes.
So students had to complete the quiz, so they would receive a grade and the teacher would be able to assess, did you even watch the video or do anything?
Yes.
And that would facilitate a lot better.
Yes.
Okay. Now if I was to, as the person who created the program, give you an opportunity to tell me one thing that you want me to do differently, what would it be?
Make it an online thing. Like,
So you like the online environment?
like I don't like you can still keep the book, but like you know, like with Cami, you know, there's Cami. Yeah, because some people don't like writing. Like I like writing, like you know, fiction and all that stuff. But like writing out, some people's handwriting are not readable.
Okay.
So that it will make it easier, like we grading and like so like when we're sharing, they'll be able to like we'll be able to read like each other's stuff. Like sometimes we could do like this switch book thing where we get to read like what each other wrote to have like you know insight, and so the teacher will know what they did or not.
So then in the online environment, you all would be able to read each other's narrative.
Yeah.
Okay. I have another question, but go ahead. So what would you change? What would you tell me to change?
I would change to like see the narratives like but like anonymously so that people don't like get discouraged by themselves. Like I don't want to put that and be fun of. So I think that it would have been better if like we could read each other's answers, but like not cheating answers. Like you know what I mean? Like
To read each other's narratives, but
Yes.
not to know who actually wrote the narrative.
Yeah.
So you would be able to have a comment on, well, you really should think about this a lot more deep, or this person should think about this a lot more deeply.
yeah.
Okay.
Coming from a project-based school, really all I know is projects. So I think by adding in a few more projects that were actually really interesting instead of just like poster boards or something, but something really fun for the students who actually want to do it would be really great.
Yeah, something that I would like recommend is that I liked the presentation personally. I liked how I got to research things. I liked how I like to present. So when I presented to the class, I liked sharing that information to some people, because some people were really undecided. They didn't know what they wanted to do. So by me researching what I wanted to do and sharing that information, I really help sharing knowledge about my knowledge about that subject.
So for example, if I'm understanding you correctly, a project could be, like you all are gathered into groups now based upon your college career aspirations. So a project could be a presentation, a collaborative presentation from your group about careers in the medical field, how broad it could be.
Yeah.
And then perhaps another project could be a project about liberal arts colleges, dispelling the myths about liberal arts colleges not being for people who are serious about learning. And then maybe another project on research institutions, the ones in Texas and research institutions throughout the country. Those are the types of things that you all would really enjoy doing.
Yeah. Well, we could have a debate, you know, about
Or debate.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
that would be
debates are really
fun
fun.
to see.
We've done debates in JSTEM Academy and we really enjoyed them. Really enjoyed looking at both sides of the debate. And so if we were able to debate on why liberal colleges are good or why liberal colleges are bad, I think that would really help us understand what liberal colleges, what their advantages and disadvantages are, and other types of universities.
And it's a competitive environment too, so I think a lot of kids would like it.
Okay, so then since you like the project and the competition, then we should have a Jeopardy competition here at the boot camp today or tomorrow morning, right?
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay. So is there anything you would like to say to your principal who did something that few principals had done, which was to implement the workbook and to implement it into advisory, despite many people saying that you would not enjoy it? What would you say to your principal?
I would really thank her because some students didn't get this opportunity, some students don't get this opportunity. So because we got the opportunity, I really enjoyed learning more about college planning, learning about what to do when I get there, during high school, what I need to do, what I need to accomplish to go to the college that will help me better my future. So I really thank her for including that and letting us do something like this.
I would thank my principal because she was able to give me the opportunity of having this program where if I didn't have it, I would have no clue where to start colleges and planning for it or doing anything at all.
I really want to thank her for thinking about the students as a whole and implementing the workbook with 6th, 7th, and 8th grade so that the 6th graders could get a head start and we all could have a head start and a great opportunity for us.
I would like to thank her because, I like to thank her because implementing it into advisory really helped some students stay out of trouble and stop lecturing some people, and it also really helped me connect to the teachers because I kind of understand the humans because when we talk about universities, they talk about all the struggles they had to go and the mean professors. It's not really the professor that's being mean, but it's you that's getting a grade and stuff. It really also helped make some students understand that school is not a joke. You're either serious or you're not.
Let me expand on that comment. I wanted to ask you that as well. Engaging in the college planning conversation, how did that impact your personal goals in terms of grades and test scores and course taking and planning for high school?
Well, when you came to our school for the presentation, I was like, oh, we're just going to learn about college planning. Then you you were if you're not if you're not getting the grades, if you're not doing your best, you're not going to get into that college of your dreams. You have to really work hard because even though I was making good grades and stuff, I wasn't putting my best in all my classes. I was just putting above average work, but I wasn't putting my best. And so I really like that you were you need to do this, you need to do that, and you need to really plan what you want to do, because if you go to high school, you don't know what to do, and you're like, yes, I'm going to get into college because I have these good grades. No, it's more than that. You have to get involved in extracurriculars, extra clubs and organizations, and you need to be officers in clubs, and so I really like that.
So I'm a very, very big overachiever. So when you came to speak to us the first time, I remember you asking us questions like, who here, if you're an A student, keep standing and the rest of you sit down? Or are those of you who think that if your teacher would call on you, you'd be like the top student in your class? And I remember having to sit down after like the fifth round, and I remember in my head, I was just like, I'm going to be that one student who keeps standing no matter what. And so it made me want to try harder for everything, so that when next time either you came around or when like another teacher asked, I could be that one kid that's just standing there.
It really opened my mind because as I was a very average student, because I slacked off a little bit, and like I really didn't care about my grades. I was like, it's fine, I'll get through it. A B is okay. I don't care about A's, it's cool. And like when he came, I was like, crap, this really does matter. Like I need to get through this. Like, and then I started picking myself up, and I started getting better grades, and I stopped slacking off, and like I turned in all my missing assignments. So it really helped me as a student to better myself.
Like when you came for the presentation, at first I was like crying because we had like way more sixth graders standing up than the eighth graders, and I was like, nope, this is not gonna happen in high school. Like I'm gonna be like that student that stands up when they like A on a roll, like in the sports team, because there's not that many people that like really try out because like, oh, I'm gonna get sports scholarship and stuff. Like I may be athletic and I play music, but I still believe like my grades is like the most important thing. And I also felt like math is not like the only important subject, because if you ask me, I'll be like, I have 100 average in math. But if you ask me about history, I'll be like, I have like an 84, 82, because I don't really try out in that class because I just hate that class. And then I realized that it doesn't really matter. Like as long as I do my best, I know I'm doing my best. Like it doesn't really matter. Maybe I'm not making the grades I want to, but like as long as I'm giving my best, like maybe the college will consider me at least.
Do you have any final comments? You all have done a great job. That's it? All right, let's go back to work. Thank you.